should have just started it.
It's much more interesting than now.
No, we won't say anything now.
Right, cool. Ready? Yeah.
Told you.
Hello guys, Geek Apocalypse here, the Geek Apocalypse podcast, and I'm at Dimension Jump, which I'm so incredibly excited about. And I'm Dimensions.
I have dementia jump. It sounded like.
Yeah, we're so old. It's demented to jump.
Now here's the problem. I'm with currently like 3 stand-up comedians. So I'm really not going to do well here. But I'm with Tony Hawks, Hattie Hayridge, and John.
Good evening.
Hallahan. I'll take Hallahan.
Lenahan.
I'll be Lenahan. I'll be Hallahan.
You read it.
Yeah, I'll read it off there.
He's a hell in a bucket.
Cool. Thank you so much, guys, for coming to Dimension Jump. First of all, I was at your Q&A earlier. Did you have fun doing that?
Yes, I'm Tony because he pointed. And
Yes.
It's the sound, and I'm such a
But in
professional.
the video, you
Oh, yeah, video. You're using the video as well?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
That's why I sat here.
Oh, I see.
Because I'm not
That's
in
why
it.
I was
This
doing
is
it.
my Hattie. This is my bad side.
It's all your bad
Right.
side.
Excellent podcast. They are moving chairs.
Yes, of course. Right,
Yeah.
what was the question again? It was a good one.
Continuity.
Well, I
He
suppose.
started here, he's got to start with John now.
I'm
Yes,
not
yes.
So you're obviously famous for being Hawk's host.
I'm famous.
I am. I'm just going to ignore you.
I'm famous for the stutter rap. I wrote playing volleyball with the Nicaraguans.
Don't
And,
mention the manslaughter case.
Yes, before we start.
yes, my major claim to fame in life
Yes.
is the talkie toaster, which is really it's the saddest admission a man can make.
Hang on.
Really. Where's he going?
Oh no!
Oh, no!
Oh, he's got the merchandise.
Oh wait a minute! And the talkie toaster is talking, so I'm heckling myself.
You don't get a royalty.
You don't? Do you not get? Oh, you don't get a royalty.
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh, I was in the royalty day.
Oh,
Never
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
We shouldn't talk
Because
about
you're
this.
holding a talkie toaster. Is that actually your voice? Or is it?
I can't hear it.
Or is it?
But yeah, no. Apparently, he stole it from the
As
show.
Hattie said earlier, is it the other guy?
The other guy, yes. Apparently, some other guy. He was far inferior to me. I'm very disappointed. The last time I did a Dimension Jump,
Yep.
it was a really badly kept secret that Grant was coming to announce the new series.
Yeah.
And so I said everybody the night before I did my show, and I said to everybody, when he announces the new series, I want everybody to go, toaster, toaster. And apparently they did. I wasn't there when it happened. But Grant still didn't write me in the show.
Doug Miller, that's
Oh,
why.
Doug.
Yes, Doug. That's why. You kept
That's
calling him
why.
Grant.
I call him Grant, of course, Doug.
That's
And
why
he's
you
like,
weren't
oh,
in it.
Grant,
Take a break.
Yes. What can I say? Okay, well, that's me. I'm never going to...
Yeah, you'll never work again.
Well, exactly, yes. But Red Dwarf is it's the show that's kept me out of the
That's the
big
show,
time
yeah.
for
That's
25
the show.
years.
But it must be kind of cool though, considering you were part of Series 1 and just to make you all feel incredibly bad. I was born the year it was started.
Oh,
It's
that is. So you were born during the hurricane, were you?
the hurricane.
Yeah, you
There
see.
was a hurricane.
There was a hurricane. The first series, you remember, we had rehearsals, and there was a hurricane in Britain. And it was famous because the newscaster, like the night
Michael
before,
Fish.
Michael Fish said,
Oh, yeah.
people think there's a hurricane
Oh,
coming,
yes,
and there
not a hurricane.
isn't a hurricane
Yes.
coming, and it did. Blew my roof off as well. And then everyone said, "Don't go out, don't drive," and so I went to rehearsals, and
So did I.
it was easy because there was nobody on the road. It was fabulous.
I lived in a squat with some people and we actually gained a dustbin that night.
There you go.
We had the front door, there was a dustbin. We hadn't had one before. It was
So I mark Red Dwarf with
good
that.
things.
Are you pleased, even though it's been such a long time, that you're still involved in Dimension Jump and people know who you are?
Well, I mean, it's Hattie. I ran into Hattie a couple years ago, and she said,
In your car.
yes, it's that.
Still got that
cool.
claiming call.
Recently we're here to,
yes,
it's the confession
yes,
right now.
and the puppies in the back seat that I killed. I still feel bad about that. But
Did you have puppies on board?
yes,
Is that what it was?
exactly. Some Hattie came along, and all the performers are old friends, so it was nice to come. And now I've written these novels, and so I use it as it's part of my actually signing tour for my novel. So I come and I sign my books and sell them. And it's great.
Tony, you were saying in your Q&A about the fact that if John didn't decide not to do the warm-ups for the shows in the early series, he wouldn't do that. So are you pleased that he said no, basically?
Yeah, I think because you couldn't do it, I asked me to do it instead, and as a result, my career has changed enormously. from.
Well,
from
skateboarding.
absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't probably never.
You were the
skateboarded.
original
No.
drinks dispenser.
I was the drinks dispenser to your toaster.
I remember you came up with lots of
Sitting in
songs
Harry's
that
window.
had drinks involved with it. Vitby with your hit stick was one
okay.
of
I was
them.
getting ready for I'm sorry, I haven't
You
a
were.
clue. Yeah. Oh, that was. Yeah, I don't remember an awful lot about all of those things. I think you remembered funny different snippets.
Yeah, I remember most being afterwards
Yeah.
with talking to Norman about bar snacks. He got
Right.
very excited about bar snacks, and
Yeah.
and I remember
God, there probably weren't many in those days.
and who's Ed's wife?
Probably only peanuts.
Ruby.
Ruby.
Ruby showing up
Right.
afterwards and doing magic tricks. I remember that.
Right.
That was in a
It
drunken
used to
way.
go on all night after
Yeah,
the
it
show
did.
in the Midland Hotel, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, you were lucky
Yeah.
you went to Manchester, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you go to
Yeah.
Hacienda? It was Hacienda days.
Now, well,
No,
the Midland
we never made it
Hotel,
out of the
Midland
hotel.
Hotel was a fabulous hotel because it was like had
You've won
had
series
ancient
there.
majesty, and it kind of was filled with like touring rock bands and prostitutes. And
That's right.
It
I
was-
ended up on the piano.
Why leave the
some nights.
hotel?
Yeah, we didn't.
Piano.
You just preempted my question. Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was it was good to do it. I mean, it is odd that we're still doing it, or in a way. I mean, I've never done one of these before. But
Yeah, I was just going to say it's your first one, isn't it? Yeah.
It just does feel like you've just gone back in time, and I feel exactly the same when you meet people you've worked with years. It's I think you just zip back into how you felt then a bit.
And
It's
the
quite nice.
three of us really kind of,
Yeah.
for like a decade, lived in each other's pockets. We'd show up,
Yeah.
once a month we'd run into each other in a club and share a
Yeah.
bill.
But we get on now, as opposed to
Bar bill.
we're civilised with each other now, where we really hated each other. There was a
Oh, is this the
horrible
gossip bit,
hatred
yeah.
between us.
You mentioned earlier about Tony about obviously the mistaken identity with the skateboarder, and I've been on your site and seen all the funny responses you do.
okay.
Do you still get any? Do you still get some?
Yes, all the time. I mean, well,
But he's kind of retired, as far as I remember. The skateboarder's retired, dude.
I haven't
Well,
been following his career
No.
as much as yours.
I mean, there must be a point in your life when you do stop doing silly jumps on a skateboard. I mean, I think that's usually 17, isn't it? I think he's way.
That's when I stopped. Yeah.
I think he's just got it all wrong. So, but he's done quite well out of it.
He's done, yeah,
made quite a few
he's done very well.
Yeah,
Actually.
the way you went me out there, it's like the Daily Mail's going to pick this up.
Yeah.
It's like a massive story.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk attacks.
He's
fellow
nice,
Tony
though.
Hawk.
I did meet him.
He's
We
stolen my
went on the
name.
big breakfast together when he came over
Wow.
to promote one of his games, and they got me on as well, and we did this sort of live chat together, and they sort of brought in the fact that I got all these skate mails that are meant for him, and they did say, so they said to him, and they said, so Tony, do you ever get any mails that are meant for Tony Hawk's the British comedian? And he went,
Emails, you mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
emails, and he just
It's
went,
mails.
no.
Sorry, carry on.
Just nothing. And he didn't say anything else. I didn't
I
get
actually
the whole
think
thing really.
that would be actually, in my mind, funnier because he'd be getting like advice. He'd be asking people. He'd be asking sort of questions like, "Oh, so are really Moldovans good at tennis?" All that kind of
Yeah.
thing, and he'd be kind
I
of
think
going,
he
"I don't really
he
know what
might
this is
know a
about."
bit of, I guess he might know something about. Maybe I'm building myself up.
I'm sure.
The way the interview went, it did feel like he was going to instantly forget.
He's quite secluded. Yes, it's quite a secluded
That
field,
thing when
know.
you kind of meet somebody and you kind of got to go, I met you, and they go,
I,
Did
peri-
you know?
I periodically get offers for classical piano concerts. There's quite a famous classical pianist named John Lenahan as well.
Oh, okay.
So and he actually got hired to. I was supposed to do Paul Merton's warm up when he did his TV show.
Oh, he's trying.
And Paul asked me, and I said, yeah, and then no one ever called. And it turned out that the production company called the piano player.
no.
And he showed up on the night and said, where's the piano? And
No,
they,
you
oh,
really
oh,
showed up.
absolutely.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, he showed up, and they said, oh, where's the piano? I said, what do you mean piano? I said,
Oh no.
And Paul's been mad at me for a long time because he thought I didn't show. The production company didn't tell him.
Oh no.
So, did you just say, obviously, I can't do this, or did you kind of just go, I'll wing it? I'm
Yeah, well,
a comedian,
well,
I'll wing it. I'll wing the piano.
Yeah, it happened not long ago, actually, and it was funny because it was like in a concert hall. And I said, oh, this sounds like a really nice gig. And then it said, and you'll be working with a soprano. And I thought, oh, I don't work with sopranos very often. And then I kind of twigged it, yeah. So,
Blimey.
cool that you know each other.
I think we should do a show together.
Yeah,
John
I think
Lenahan,
we
John
should.
Lenahan, yeah.
I love the fact that one of my successful podcasts, the one where I barely talk, and you've just done it.
I think
I
you should
talked
skate.
apart from interrupting.
That's
well,
true.
I'm
So
getting to you.
is there any other famous Hattie Hayridges?
Not that I know.
No,
No, there's only one.
there is only
The
one. They
and
broke
only.
them all.
They broke
It's an
them.
unusual name, Hayridge. In fact, I don't know any other Hayridges.
No, there's not any in the phone book.
Ah.
Is it yours?
Really?
Anyway,
She's like, let's not make people take other Hattie
It's
Hayridge.
like-
Dolores
Yeah.
Tiddlefup.
I don't want any more
Yeah.
emails.
Dolores Telthrup.
So obviously,
Shut up, how dare you?
obviously Hattie being Holly, it obviously was really, really, really cool that you did 3. One of the things I really like about is when you said during the documentaries. I said I was watching the documentaries on the way here, and you said like when they asked you to when they said that you weren't being Holly anymore, you said what you really liked about Doug, and I think Rob was still around at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that they told you they told you face to face, and you say in the documentary that like I've never when I've asked other friends that never happened. So like
Yeah,
did you
apparently.
feel like
I
sort
mean,
of
I know a
respectful?
Teletubby who was, I won't say which Teletubby. We all know which Teletubby.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
There was a Teletubby.
We all
who,
know.
while he was at the end of show party,
Yeah.
he was getting a letter back at his flat saying, "Go away, don't come back." And he didn't know till he got home from the party. So it can be a bit dodgy, things like that. So yeah,
On the other way
it's
around.
nice. They just said, we have run out of ideas for storylines.
I've had it the other way around though. I actually went to a party once and someone said, "Oh, I heard I did a pilot," and someone said, "I heard they picked up your pilot." I went, and I went, "Oh, really?"
Used to me.
Well, as for me in the dispensing machine, they've never actually formally told me that I have been written out, and I'm still waiting for the call for the next thing. It hasn't happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
As long as the residual
Yeah.
checks are coming, who's
Yeah, sometimes people don't know they've been written out. Everyone else knows.
I don't think I have
They
been written
don't
out. I'm
know.
just, they're just waiting for the.
Yeah,
right
they're waiting
moment.
for the right
It's the big
Yeah.
someone to put the right number in, and then your voice will come up and go, "Frothy pink cappuccino with Twinkies."
do you still get people stopping you, Hattie? Because I remember telling you a story. You said a story. Was it Kaiser Chiefs or something who stopped you and bought you a drink?
Oh, yeah.
I rember that as well. Do you still get people coming up to you?
Yeah.
Recognise
Oh
me.
yeah, because I mean my hair was like this before I did Red
Yeah.
Dwarf, so I've kept it like that. Oh, otherwise people think, "Oh, sad girl, she's like kept the same hair and look and everything." Oh, so sad.
They're
But
nice.
I've had it cropped hair now and again, and then it goes back to this.
people don't stop me and
Every now and
recognize me
again.
as the toaster though. I don't understand.
Not even when you speak.
Not even when I speak.
Not when you buy bread.
They're big
And all
comedy
the
fans,
salty
the
bready
Kaiser Chiefs.
things.
The Kaiser
Are
Chiefs
they?
came to a recording in
Yeah.
just a minute, and the drummer
The
up
big
there,
comedy
writes
fans.
he
Nick.
knew all the lyrics to Stutter Rap right the way through.
Ah.
He sang
Wow.
them right
How
through,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, it was Nick the drummer that I met
Yeah.
in a
Yeah,
club.
because I remember you.
And he offered to buy me a drink.
I don't know where it was that you said that, but I just remember in an interview you said that exact thing. You were like, and they were like, "Oh, Holly Red Dwarf."
Yeah.
A bit like you told the story in the documentary that I found brilliant. Is that one time you drove both listers back in the episode.
Oh,
where
yeah.
the both listers, and they were like, "Holly's from Red Dwarf." Yeah, you do it.
Yeah, because I was speeding. I got stopped by the police.
Yeah.
And the policeman was in the old days when police, well, police.
Wait, you
Yeah.
got off from a speeding ticket because you
Yeah.
got recognized? Oh, how
And
fab is
I had
that?
a Lister and a lookalike
I didn't
Lister
mean
in
to
the back
set
of
it
the
up
car.
like that.
And the policeman went, "Oh, it's Holly!" And he goes, "Oh, it's Lister!" He goes, "Oh, and another Lister!" And that's when I used to drive that really old banger, the 1969 Wolsey, which
Oh,
used to
God.
break down every other minute. Instead of the fact the AA took me off their list, they wouldn't let me be a member. It used to break down every time I tried to start the car. And so he just thumped the roof and said, "Well, if you can drive a spaceship, you can drive this old banger," and he let me go.
Oh, how fab.
When you did Talkie Toaster, John, did they get you to go to the set and do it, or did you just record it?
Yeah, I was
Did
right
you-
behind the flat
Oh, right.
doing it live. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they did that for Epideme and a few other things, so yeah, I thought that might be the way they
Yes,
did
but
it.
I memorized my lines. I didn't read from a script. I was professional about it.
That's all I was after. That's why I was grilling you about it. Yeah,
And that's of course why they hired
Grilling
someone
you.
else afterwards.
Toasting you.
yeah, toasting you. Because what I wanted to ask, like collectively, is like I suppose with being a huge Red Dwarf fan, it's like kind of the hanging around the set and all that kind of thing. With you being the one, what you were around, you said in your Q&A you're around all the time, and I'm just interested to know your experiences of being on the set? What was it like?
I think the best thing about show business, especially comedy, is the hanging around.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's what I miss most about TV shows and doing the comedy clubs as well. It's not as much the shows as it was just sitting backstage with funny, smart people. You know.
Yeah. How about you, Hattie?
Yeah, I used to do, always like some people think I would just turn up to do those lines or not even be there, but I was there 6 days a week like the others.
Yeah.
So I had less lines than them, and they had like big scenes together.
But they
and
always
things.
did that on Red Dwarf. I mean, I was
Yeah.
the talking toaster. I had to show up for the rehearsals the whole way.
Yeah, no,
right?
it's good. It makes it a much better,
Yeah.
tighter knit group of people, which is what they wanted, how they wanted to do it. And you get to talk to the guest stars. You know, I would sit there with the guest stars.
A bit like when I went to the Green Room earlier, you were always chatting and reminiscing and all that. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool,
yeah.
We're one big happy family.
Well, apart from,
Apart from, and then
I was
not
going to say,
them.
we start with the showbiz. We're all really get on,
Yeah.
but...
Yeah.
No, but I
No,
think
we do,
it does genuinely
It's 'cause
feel
we're not
like
actors.
a happy bunch, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, well, there aren't too many, because actually, probably that has got something to do with
Yeah.
it. Is actually
Have you
everyone...
trained, love? I haven't.
I haven't trained.
No, I haven't trained. Have you trained?
no.
No.
No. See?
Wow,
But,
that's pretty cool. So it's all your comedy backgrounds. I just said,
Yeah.
can you come along and do some stuff? Because you were still you all stand-up comedians beforehand, weren't you?
Yeah, we all.
So
we
that's how
all,
you knew each other.
we all bang around the comedy store and jongleur, getting.
That's where Ed
Thrown things.
Barney came up to me in Jongleurs and just said, "Can you do the warm-up to this show we're going to do?"
Yeah, and that's that's where he found me as well.
Yeah.
They saw me on Friday Night Live.
Oh,
For
right,
me,
yeah.
it all happened in 1 year. I was a secretary the year before, and the next year I was on Friday Night Live.
You're really a secretary.
Yeah,
You'd be a
and did
fabulous secretary.
I was very good actually.
I know what you did. You mentioned this on Carpool. I watched the Carpool episode you were in, and you said about
Hating myself.
no, but but someone may not have seen this, so seen it. But yeah, I remember you did a communications degree or something, wasn't it? Or
International
foreign
relations.
That was it.
Yeah.
I failed
I'd
out
like-
of a communications degree myself.
I have a question that's not really that
Well,
relevant
that's a
to the
good question.
podcast.
That's
But
quite all right.
because
I know
I'm
question.
catching a train later,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I'm concerned that your watch says
Oh, mine's
20
15, it's always 15 minutes fast.
Okay.
I'm a time traveller.
I've been told I have half an hour with you, so once I
That's
reach
all right.
the
No, I
30,
just
that's
thought,
roughly about right.
bloody hell, look at the time.
Wait, let me get this straight. You always have your watch
Yeah.
20 minutes ahead of time.
Yeah.
That's
15.
very
15.
It's
strange.
short memory. I just said 15.
15. Well, 5 minutes past. But what's just then, when you do that,
Even
though,
for the interview,
I'll send you a- I'll
not
send
the
you a
interview,
copy.
audition.
Thank you.
what is the
Audition.
point in that, Hattie?
Well,
If
because
you know
well,
it's
like,
15
yeah,
minutes
but like if you've got a
Exactly.
train in like 20 minutes, you go ah! Like that, and
But then
it's
you have to
15
do
minutes
some
fast.
subtraction.
Yeah,
you
but-
make your life too
Yeah,
complicated because then you must
But it-
go.
it
But
gives
what's
you
the
that-
time really?
Yeah, but it gives you that little
You get the sun
adrenaline
wrong, you
rush.
miss the train.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I find it gives me that little adrenaline rush to get going.
Well, it got me going.
Well, you go. Oh, anything gets you going.
Oh, it's out now.
Hey.
Don't mention the manslaughter.
Twice now.
Oh.
Luckily, it's a podcast. You can say what you want. I just noticed when they answered the question of like when you were about being around the set and stuff. What was it like for you when you were, sort of comparing, for want of a better phrase?
Yeah, well, it was.
Oh no, you was Caligula was hanging around mostly, weren't you?
Yeah,
I love
In a
that. I love that
toga.
episode.
that's right. I mean, it was when you did the warm up. You came up on the day, and then you did it. But then you did the sort of whole hanging out with everyone afterwards all night sort of thing because it was recorded in. Those ones were recorded in Manchester.
Yeah, they were the best when they
So
recorded in
it was a
Manchester.
good. Normally that wouldn't happen, people would do their thing, and if they live in London, they go straight home to their family or whatever. So we couldn't. So that made it much more of a team thing,
And really, that hotel really was a magical place. Is it still going?
Yeah.
Have they-
I
have
did
they-
something
They
there.
called
they
it
cleaned
something
it?
else, haven't they?
It's called something else, I think, but it's still
They
there.
had to
And it
call
used
it
to have,
something
and
else.
the keys
Go
were
back
on
Dwarf
the
Hotel.
keys were on like this
Yeah.
huge fob with the tassels on it, right? I remember getting a room in the top once that was like you had to stand like this in it. It was a wild place, and it was
Oh,
great.
the Hunchback Suite.
Yes, exactly.
Did you have to ring the bells as well? It was like-
But it was. I remember being in there with like two roaming.
Prostitutes?
No. Well, no. The prostitutes were a constant there. There was Dolores and Sally, and then now there was like two touring like heavy metal rock bands that had come in with like.
Yeah.
tattoos before other people had tattoos and strange hair, and it was just great fun, actually.
We only did series 3 up at Manchester, and then 4 and
only
5 we did at
Manchester.
Shepperton. So I only got one series
Yeah,
up at Manchester.
yeah.
I had a great experience when I did when we were doing the rehearsals, the first rehearsals, and I ended up. It was kind of weird because nobody kind of knew who I was, and then every showbiz person I ever knew like showed up in the lunch, and I ended up having this huge crowd around me. It was like Paul Daniels and Ali Bongo and Rory Bremner, and it was Ronnie Corbett, and I had this little party going on. So the cast was all going, "Who the hell's this toaster?" And these were the only famous people I know. Lenny Henry came in, and then Robbie Coltrane, who I'd never met, sat down, and it was great for them. It was the acting students.
Yeah.
And Robbie Coltrane came in, and so he started talking, and someone said, "What's new?" And he said, "Oh, I just got a new car." And he said, "Well, it's not new." He says, "I got a 1959 Bonneville." And I went, "Oh, does it have a push-button transmission?" And he went, "You know about Bonnevilles?" And I said, "Well, my dad had one." And he went, "Oh, let's go for a ride." And then me and Robbie Coltrane went around, driving around Acton in his Bonneville with a push-button transmission. It was great fun.
Is
Those
that?
were the days.
Have you
Those
got
were the
any
days.
other stories in relation to that? Or
Hey, what's your name dropper story? Go ahead.
Yeah, name drop.
Anyway, when you saying about Craig Ferguson earlier,
Yeah, I know I'm pushed for time, and I really wanted to ask you about that because obviously with Craig being in Confidence and Paranoia, and I think you said on one of the documentaries as well that you knew of him being obviously a stand-up comedian beforehand.
yeah.
I seen on YouTube because I watch all his stuff all the time. So I think he's brilliant, and I seen that you were on, and I know the story of saying that you said you just went to watch the show or something. Do you want to?
Yeah, I was in America doing stand-up shows, actually in Atlanta, and then I went across to LA because it's only round the corner.
Yeah.
And and even more round the corner from my hotel was CBS Studios, and I realised that Craig Ferguson was doing his late show there. So I just turned up, and they let me in because I was English, and I was on my own.
Like
and,
foreign
yeah, and they
like
said,
that.
"Oh, we'll just put you an extra seat down the front." So they put me a seat, just tip-up seat down the front, like right next to the camera. And Craig came out, and he's like talking to camera, and he goes, "Can we just stop recording a minute?" He goes, "Hattie, is that you?" And I went, "Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to put you off or anything." And he went, "What the bleep are you doing here?"
You can say it. It's
Oh yeah, it's podcast anyway.
Is it?
Yeah,
Right.
just
Oh, that's
yeah.
fine.
And I said, "Oh, I'm on holiday." And he said, "Do you want to do the show?" And I said, "No, I got the wrong shoes on." So he went, "No, not now." "How long are you here for?" And I went, "Oh, a couple of days." He goes, "Well, do you want to do it the day after tomorrow?" I went, "You're right." And then, they introduced me, and then the audience were like, "Woo!" And it was weird because I'd come up in the lift with some of the people in there and all this, and they just thought the whole thing might have been a plant, And I'm going, "Oh." And even the cameraman who kept going to me during the show, going, "Was that all fixed? We didn't know anything about that." I went, No, it was only.
Did you? Because you said as well when I think you mentioned it on Carpool because you were talking to Robert about it, and one of the things you said was how weird it was having to change all the dialect and stuff and all the different
didn't
words
change
for
my
an American.
No,
Probably the
no,
wrong
just,
word, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
no, just well, I had been doing a few gigs anyway, but I wrote some stuff, especially some of that was just the first time I'd done it on that, just to get exactly 5.5 minutes.
It has to be censored as well, though, doesn't it? I think
Yeah,
because you have to
yeah.
say certain words differently. like
Yeah,
crap
that's
or
right. I
something,
couldn't
wasn't it?
say, those like that. I couldn't say it all went tits up. They wouldn't let me say it all went tits up.
Weird that
And,
they do that.
I got in trouble in America for ass over teacup once.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the most obvious one's Fanny, isn't it? Because it means to.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
I've got
I
to
could
get a
say
train
arse.
soon. I think you should keep going, but would you mind being rude to me so I can storm off?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can
Oh, can we all join?
we can
Yeah.
talk
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask my question I wanted to end on? Because
How dare
and then you can storm out.
Okay.
Can we all storm on?
Yeah,
If
all
it's-
storm
yeah,
out.
we can
storm
We
on.
can- That would be
Okay,
cool. And
well,
That's
let's
it.
get ready.
But
I'll leave that there. We can throw it
I
on the
wanted
ground.
to.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted to ask as an end, and you feel free
I'll
to
throw this-
storm off after you answer it.
Give stuff
Just
to push
gonna
on.
throw
Yeah,
this-
yeah,
Just gonna throw
Are we
this
signing this?
Biro.
yeah. Please, if you could,
Bubblegum
yeah.
wrappers.
Okay.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask was if, obviously, with the huge renaissance Red Dwarfs having with Series 10 and everything, if you ever got asked to do anything again, would you do it?
No, in a flash.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it! Oh, Stephen, what did you have to ask that for?
Oh no! What have I done?
What have you done?